Toyota wants to build over 3.5 battery electric vehicles every single year starting in 2030. But the only vehicles they're producing that are fully battery electric at this point in time is a small number in China and a small number out of the Motomachi plant in Japan. So where are the rest coming from? Well, North America could be an answer. Stumbled upon this morning and it's led me down a rabbit hole. So we have Blue Nexus, which is a combination of Toyota suppliers, Aishin and Denso, and Toyota themselves. They produce the electric motors for the EV, the Solterra, the BZ4X, as well as the Lexus RZ450E that hasn't quite made it to our shores yet. There's a press release at the bottom on June 1st. Very short, very to the point, and that's when speculation runs over. But anyways, Blue Nexus established Blue Nexus America to develop, calibrate, and sell electric vehicle electrification systems and drive modules. Okay, so where are they doing this? Well, this is going to be in Northville, Michigan, USA. Capital is $500,000. We already read about their business and it was established June 1st. That is it. Now typing in Northville, Michigan here, they only have about 6,000 people there. And let's see where it's at on the map compared to some of the bigger cities in Michigan. Well, look, Northville's really close to an interstate system. That's pretty handy when you're shipping these drive modules to the next plant over, which we'll talk about plants that this could be supplying here in a little bit. Oh, look, it's also conveniently close to Detroit. And look, it's only a 3-hour drive from Cambridge, Ontario, where they build the RX and NX, as well as some Toyota vehicles like the RAV4 of note. It's only about a 5-hour drive from Georgetown, Kentucky, where they build all sorts of vehicles and is the largest Toyota plant in the entire world. And it's only about a 6.5-hour drive from Princeton, Indiana, if my memory serves me correct, where they build the Highlander hybrid, the Sienna hybrid. So it's very strategically placed, and not only is it close to those plants, but if we go to this diagram, it kind of gives you an idea. So Blue Nexus is setting up shop here. Indiana's right there. Kentucky's down here. Ontario's here. So it's right smack dab in the middle of their 3 largest plants here in North America. And this is an old graph, mind you, because it says that Tacoma is still being produced in Texas, which is no longer the case. It's in Guanajuato and also in Baja, California. They also mentioned in this graph that the Corolla Cross, well, they said the Corolla, but it was the Corolla Cross that came out of that plant in Huntsville, Alabama. So there's another diagram here which points to the importance of Michigan. And in Detroit here, or Ann Arbor, I should say, Plymouth, Michigan, we have Toyota Technical Center, which is Toyota North America's automotive research and development headquarters. How convenient that the Technical Center is right there next to this Blue Nexus manufacturing plant. Let's also not forget Toyota's investing over $1.2 billion in the North Carolina battery factory that should be up by 2025. They're saying it should provide enough battery packs for 1.2 million electrified vehicles per year. Well, electrifying for Toyota means fuel cell, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and battery electric. In 2025, when it comes online, they will have 4 production lines, each capable of delivering enough lithium-ion batteries for 200,000 vehicles, with the intent to expand to at least 6 production lines for a combination of up to 1.2 million vehicles per year. So let's talk a little bit about Blue Nexus and their e-axles and hybrid e-axles, and then we'll also talk about what kind of vehicles these are likely to slot into first from the Toyota and Lexus lineup. Single speed, short length. We have single speed, low height, and these are the type of motors that you see in the BZ4X and the RZ450E. So the single speed, short length, if you look at the front wheel drive BZ4X, it's about 150 kilowatts or about 200 horsepower. And you also have the single speed, low height, which is on the all-wheel drive model of the BZ4X or the RZ. And this motor is also potentially, what I've heard anyways, don't know if it's true or not because I can't find anything from Toyota's press documents, but the same sort of rear-wheel drive or rear drive unit in the all-wheel drive BZ4X or the RZ450E, it's the same unit in those vehicles, could be the rear unit in the RX 500H. And that makes sense because the RZ and the RX 500H anyways are both direct 4. So what better way to make it as simple as possible to tune those vehicles if you have the same rear electric motor coming. They also say here one motor hybrid vehicle. So not only is Blue Nexus providing the fully battery electric motors for battery electric vehicles, they also are producing 2-motor hybrid vehicles and single-motor hybrid vehicle solutions. So the 2-motor is everything we see outside of like the Sequoia, the Tundra, and the RX 500H. The 1-motor is something a little bit new. We only see on the RX 500H. We also hear rumors that it could be in the upcoming Toyota Crown as well. This mates the gasoline engine not to a CVT or eCVT that we see in the 2-motor setup, but it mates it to a 6-speed automatic. So Blue Nexus is also providing this sort of mechanism in the new RX 500H. And I feel like that's a good segue into what vehicles are we going to see these Blue Nexus motors produced here in North America in first. Well, let's start with the RX. I think that makes a ton of sense, especially if it's going to use this sort of drive unit. The problem is the RX 500H uses a bipolar nickel metal hydride battery. As far as I know, nowhere else in the world do they produce that battery outside of Japan. So it's Japan only production for that bipolar nickel metal hydride. But this sort of motor, single motor setup anyways, could likely be seen and produced at that plant in Michigan, potentially for an American-made RX 500H, or I don't think they would make the Crown here stateside, but that's a possibility. I'm not ruling it out. Because remember the Avalon was canceled. You also remember the Lexus ES production is moving back to Japan by the end of 2023. So you have Avalon and ES completely gone from the plant in Kentucky. So what the heck are they going to build down there? And I think an EV makes sense using these Blue Nexus motors. And they could also use these Blue Nexus motors in a fully battery electric RX. Not only the RX 500H, the F-Sport Performance model we've been talking about, but if we look at the wheelbase of the RX, the brand new RX redesign, on the TNGA-K platform, it has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. If we go to the BZ4X's product description here, exact same wheelbase, 112.2 inches. Is that completely by chance? Or is the RX just ready for electrification to be dropped in? But my gut's telling me it's totally not a coincidence, and the wheelbase is really designed to have modular battery packs to slot in not only in the RX, but also what I've heard potentially, okay, this is just what I'm hearing about the TX. The TX one day could be a fully electric vehicle. And how could they do this? Well, if we go back to Blue Nexus, so if we look at this single speed motor and even all the motors down below, what Toyota, and should I say Blue Nexus, is doing is putting the transaxle, the motor generator, and inverter all in one condensed package. And there'll be a next generation of Blue Nexus packages and drive units coming in the next couple years from what I'm hearing. So this first generation, what we have here, has everything packaged together. It just will make it so much easier for Toyota not only to have these in battery electric vehicles, but if they need to modify an existing platform, not on the ETNGA platform, but let's say the K platform, they can do it. And in fact, we've already seen it on the Lexus UX300E. Now that's on the C platform, but that gives us an idea of how flexible their platforms really are. We already know the K platform doesn't have any problems with the plug-in hybrid and different forms of hybridization on it. The new RX is evidence of that. But now that the RX has the same wheelbase as the BZ4X, how hard would it be to modify that vehicle to accept the same battery pack from the BZ4X or RZ, which is around 72 kilowatt hours or so, and swap these motors inside of the new RX? I don't think that's a stretch by any means, and Toyota and Lexus know how to make money, they know how to scale, and they know how to make things as modular as possible. But there's not much else for me to say. Most of this was speculation, but it all comes from that article saying Blue Nexus setting up shop in America, right smack dab in its 3 biggest plants, right smack dab next to its research and design center in Arbor, Michigan. I don't think it's coincidence. I think we're going to see these drive units powering many battery electric vehicles from multiple platforms here in North America, probably by 2025. So we're still a ways out, definitely. I wouldn't say we're hamstrung by the motor units at this point from Blue Nexus. I think that'll be fairly easy to ramp up, and to do so quickly, we're really dependent on the battery production out of North Carolina to supply the EVs here in North America. I'm going to end there. If you guys enjoyed today's deep dive into the potentiality of Toyota BEVs in the near future, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe for more Toyota Nexus, because I've been talking about blue Nexus. Subscribe for more Toyota and Lexus news in the future as well. Catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.